So next thing we are going to do the nifi. Okay. So so nifi is a ingestion tool. It's a basically the pipeline tool. Okay, so you can follow the tutorial here in the tutorial file. So if you want to learn more on the nifi, so nifi is a UI based ingestion tool. And first of all, we have to download the nifi from the nifi website, nifi download. So you go to the nifi and there download option. So you can download any version. There's binaries you have to download. So nifi, this binaries you have to download if they have changed the interface. nifi, what is the difference? Open PGP. Click on this. Yeah. To download this one, directly click on this binary and it will be zip file. It will be showing to you here and you can download this zip. So you unzip this binary, okay, and keep it in the software. And once you get it, this extracted version, okay, so you don't need to set any path. Just you have to go there and you can start the nifi. Okay. So let me start first the basic fundamental, right? What the nifi is and what are the key component of the nifi. Okay. So nifi is an open source data ingestion platform and it's drag and drop, right? So nifi we have a processors. So you will see here the processors. So processors are the main component of the nifi. So if any task we want to do, we will find the processor of that particular type of work. Okay. Suppose I have to read the file and write the file. Okay. So suppose I'm saying I want to read a data from one file and write the data to the another file in some other directory. So there is a processor name is a get file processor and put file processor. So get file processor will read the file from some directory and write a directory to the put file processor. So I need to set some properties. I need to set properties of the processor. Suppose I have dragged, I have taken a get file processor, and this get file processor have the properties, and this property is you have to set input directory. So input directory I have to set the path. Suppose in my home directory I have some input folder, and here I have some .csv files are there. So what I want to do, I want to copy the file, or we can use some Hadoop file processor like a Hadoop file system path. So file processor is get file processor is taking a file as an input and writing the file by put file processor. The put file processor is another processor. It has the properties like output folder, output directory, and we can write the directory to some other output folder. Okay. So it is like reading data from one directory to writing data to another directory. So this should be some output folder. In this output folder, you will be writing the your file. So you are giving us this location, and you are not specifying the some pattern is there. Like suppose you have more than different types of files, so you can define the pattern as well. Okay. So the processor, there are different types of processor. I will show you one by one what are the different types of processors are there. So processors having a name is there, enable property is there. There are different properties are there. So one is the property tab, and this property tab has further properties are there. So if you go to the properties tab, so there is an input directory is there. So input directory, you will be defining the directory path, input directory path, and file filter. File filter is you can define the file pattern. So if you are not specifying any specific type of file pattern like star.csv, so it will take it all files. Okay. So if your pattern is as it is like this, it is given here, then it will be taking it all files. If you are giving .csv, then it will take the CSV type of file or XML, then whatever pattern you give. The same thing is in the put file processor. So put file processor have the properties here, right? Just like a get file property, same like a put file property is there. And here is the output directory. So output directory, you specify the output directory path. Okay. So this is a very simple type of processor like get file processor and put file processor. If you see in the put file processor, so here is the property put file properties, here the output directory. So this directory is nothing but your output directory path. Okay. So here you don't need to define the pattern because it is output directory. Okay. So that will copy your file from your input to output. Okay. So one component of the nifi is processor. Okay. So next thing is like environment. Okay, when we are setting up the nifi, so just we have to download this binaries and extract the binaries. So we will get the user interface like this. If you look at this, so in the user interface, there are the different options are here on the top. Like you can create a template of your nifi process. Suppose I say I'm reading a file and writing the file to the another directory, and I want to create as a template. So you have an option here like to create a template. Here the option will come this template. So you can create a template, and this template is generating the XML file in the backend. And that XML file, if somebody import it as a template, then he will get the same like he will get the same component there. Okay. So it means like we can replicate the same process flow from like using the template. Okay. So template is the one, we will see that what is a template. So template is the one way to process the like from the one nifi to another nifi we can like replicate. Okay. And another thing is in the nifi is we can do the process group. The process group is like collection of process, right? Like we have a small process and we can make it a one group, and that group can be used for the something I don't need to design from the scratch. So what I can do, once I create a one process group, I can generate a template for that, and that template I can use in other nifi. So I don't need to start from the scratch. So process group is used. Okay. So process group is, if you see the icon of the process group, this is the icon of the process group. So multiple processes can be combined together in a process group. So we can define our multiple flows in a one group, then we can define as a using process group. Okay. So process group is process group is basically set of processes in a one group. Okay. And queues is basically when your one component to another component, your data is transferred, that is transferred to the queue. Like suppose if I say two processors are there, one is a get file processor, one is a put file processor. So when you are moving the data from one processor to another processor, okay, so the data is moved through the queue. So The queue is basically the data will be showing in the queue. So if you want to make a data empty in the queue, so you can have an option, right click on the queue, and then you can have an option empty queue. So you can delete the queue or you can empty queue. Okay, list queue, right? You can see all the items in the queue, so you can list the queue. So you can have these options in the queue. Okay, labeling. Labeling is like you are defining the labels, right, on your component, so you can use the labeling. So label is basically, so these are the small component of the like nifi, which we use for the at the time of configuration. Okay, so main important thing in the NiFi is processor. So we should know how many different types of processors are there. Like some are the cloud processors are there, like related to AWS cloud, GCP cloud, Azure cloud. Some processors are general, like Kafka processor is there, like publish Kafka and consume Kafka. So those are the Kafka related processors are there. Okay, some processor like file related processor, some processor are reading the data from the RDMS database, right? Reading the data. Some processor like which is reading a JSON file. Okay. So different types of processor categories are there. So all the processors are not important to learn. Okay, very like some of the processor which are very frequently used, like get file, put file processor. Some processors are like a Kafka related processor, like where we are reading data from the Kafka topic or writing the data to the Kafka topic, publishing the data to the Kafka topic. Okay, so we create a one flow file. The flow file is like when we are processing the entities, right, in the Apache NiFi to contain the data and attributes. So, so flow file is we are creating a file where we are defining the what type of size of the data, file name, file type. So those are our metadata properties. So metadata properties we are defining. Okay. So all these are the things we are defining on the UI. Okay. Nothing we have to do coding. We are not doing programmatically to define anything. Everything is defining through the configuration. So when we are creating a NiFi component, so we are creating through the UI. Okay. So first we have to go to our NiFi installation. Okay, so there we go to the bin directory, the NiFi, and here is a nifi.sh. Okay, so I have to start the command /nifi.sh and start. Okay, this command I have to start, and I go to the config in the of NiFi. I have to go to the config, and this conf I have a nifi.property. So if NiFi has the, if I check the port, right, which port I'm running in the NiFi. So if my NiFi is like here, if you see in your case, like I have changed this port because default port is the 8080, but this port is suppose is used by some other service, so you cannot use the 8080. So what you need to do, this property nifi.http port you have to change. Okay, so I change the port 9301, right? I change this port 9301. But you, if your 8080 working fine, so you don't need to change port. So first of all, what you do, you open the local host your 8080. Okay, if your port 8080 is used by some other process, then you come here and change this port to any other port and then restart your NiFi. Okay, so you have to start localhost 9301. You have to start. But in your case, if 8080 working fine, so you don't need to do. First, you check if your NiFi is working fine on 8080. Suppose your port is enabled and NiFi is running on the default port 8080. Okay, so then you don't need to change. So if I show you after downloading what port is coming, so you can check. Okay. Because I have already modified the config property. Okay. So if you check it here, my nifi is going to start. Okay. Okay. So you will see the home interface. So you will see the home interface. This is the home interface coming. And this home interface, you have all those components. Okay. So you can see on the top, you can see the components are there. So this is basically the processors. So whenever you want to add any processor, so this is a canvas. This area is called canvas. This background is canvas. So this sometimes you are designing the pipeline and you don't want to do coding. So NiFi is an easy way to create a pipeline. So if you see here, this is a list of processors are coming. Okay. So if I say here, if I type get file, so I will get the get file processor. So get file processor you select here and you click it and you can add a get file processor. So like this is my get file processor, and now get file processor will read the data and write the data to the using the put file processor. So another processor I will drag it and I will use here put file. So if you say 250 processors are there, approximate, like if we check the AWS related, so these are the AWS processor, right? Delete S3 object, delete SQS, delete DynamoDB, get SQS, get DynamoDB. So these are the AWS. If you see the GCP processor, the GCP processors are there. Like cloud-wise processors are there. If you see the some general processors, right? Um, like if I see like attribute to CSV, so it is like saving a file as a CSV. Attribute to JSON, like save a file as a JSON, right? Okay, and if I want to connect file, okay, first we do like put file processor. So this put file processor is writing the file to. So here this processor is a put file processor. So in this one, get file and put file. Okay, so these are the two processor I have. So this canvas can have multiple flow. I told, right? Like I say, this is a one flow, this is the second flow I'm creating. And then I can make it a one process group. The process group, when I add a process group, I can give a process group or I can upload something in the process group. Okay, and I can make it multiple processes in a process group. Okay, but first of all, we are developing a one single process. Okay, so one single process, what I need to do, first of all, if you see the triangle, this triangle means it's a invalid, right? Like basically some of the properties you need to set. So when you double click it and go to the properties, So it is input directory is not set. So first of all, I set an input directory. So I take some input directory path. I just keep it any directory as an input directory. So any directory, like suppose I say this input file. Okay. So this directory, this is my input files directory is a input directory. So I'm taking this directory path and setting it in my nifi, okay, as an input file. And I'm giving it all files. Like I'm not setting any specific .csv or any specific. I am taking it all files. There is no filter I'm setting. Click on apply. So still you see this is the triangle here. It means it's still the invalid. This component is invalid. So one property still need to be set more. So there is a relationship is there. So this will be set terminate and retry. Retry, I don't want to make it retry because I want to, if I want to make it more attempt, so I can keep it. Sometimes your input folder or output folders are not ready, right? So retry mechanism, you can keep it. So how many number of retry attempt? 2. So suppose sometimes output directory is not connecting, so it will retry 2 times, okay? So I just, okay, now it is not triangle, right? Triangle is not there. So it means this component is ready. Same thing, I will make it ready this component. So 2 things are there, relationships are there. So we have to set a relationship. Okay. I don't want to keep it retry here. If I want to keep retry, so I have to set the attempt here. Okay, retry attempt. And now we go to the next property. This is the important one directly because this path need to be set where I want to copy my output directory data. So I'm creating, I'm just copying this output directory path. So this output directory path, I'm setting it my output file. Okay, or I just create, okay, or otherwise I can take it this path as a my output directory path. So I will copy this and slash output. So I'm telling here in my output path. So this is my output path. Okay. Name doesn't matter. This is anything could be there. Okay. But 2 separate directories should be there because output directory is different, input directory is different. Okay. And now I will apply this. So I will see here, still it is showing triangle. So what is this? The linking is not there. So it is saying the upstream. Okay, for this one, there is a upstream is there. So it is invalid. The connector is not there. So I will make it connector. So I will set it connector and add. So now you see your components are ready, right? Now I have to start, if I start it, but there is nothing there, right? If I start this one also, but right now it is not finding anything because the directories are empty. Okay, the directory is empty, right? So what I will do, I will copy some file this location. This is the input, right? So I will take some file, okay, which are, so I'm copying some file. I copy these files. I will paste it in my here. Okay, this is the input directory folder, and you will see these files will be gone. Okay, so if you see here in the UI, it is in the queue. So we still the put file is not getting. We still in the queue. Okay. Go to output. Still it has not come here. See, you can see in the queue. These are the files, right? I sent. Okay. These are the list I can see in the queue. Okay. These are the files, right? Which are already there in the queue. Okay, let's see. Okay, some error came. Okay, see, if this error came, it means something is issue in the target. Something issue in the target. No file name 1.txt routing to the failure as configured with the file name already exists. Output directory. Okay, let's do one thing. This one I clear the queue. Change this directory to, because already the file is there. First we stop it, both the component we stop and configure again, because without stopping you can't configure again. Okay? I'm making it the folder name output from. I keep it for file name. Yes, one thing. See, this is the file. And this file is gone automatically. What is happening? The file is came. Okay. If I write the file, so here, output the file will come in the output directory. Okay. This is the get file and put file processor. Okay. Another processor is like we have published Kafka. Okay. So if we drag here, right, I want to publish Kafka. So here are the two versions you are able to see. We have to use this 2.61, this published Kafka. Okay. So this processor, when you, this processor is can read the data from the file and write the data to the Kafka topic. Okay, so we can do one get file, and get file is reading data. Get file. So get file will be reading data and writing data to the Kafka topic. So here you can define the mapping and what are the component you can set it in the get file. Same like we have to set it the this terminate and the properties. Property is the same folder we need to set the input folder. So if my files are here in the input directory, I will set it my input file. So this input file I'm setting here, and I want to write the data to the Kafka. Here is here in the Kafka one, we have to, this is a localhost 9092. So I need to tell the topic, which topic I want to publish the messages. So I will be defining the topic name here. The topic name, okay. So I have to start the zookeeper broker, right? So I will be tell the topic. Okay, so here I will start my zookeeper broker in my Kafka folder. So here I will start. I will start zookeeper and server, and then I will have a topic just for zookeeper. But, so we create a Kafka topic. If the topic is not there, so it will create topic. Just if you create this topic, I will give. I'll give this topic to the. This topic is already there, so I will assign this topic here. In my nifi, I will give the topic name here. Okay, so I'm giving my topic name here, and one more property I have to set it guaranteed replicated delivery. Okay, so this property I need to change. Okay, and other thing is in the relationship is all fine, including is fine. So I will. Okay. So now this one I have to check it whether the relationship one fine. Okay. So first you define the relation. First you define the relationship, then you add the connection. Okay. Now it will work fine. So here is what is showing it. Input directory is required. So this input directory we need to set. Okay. And publish passport. So this is fine. Anything is. So I will stop it. Whatever is not used, I stop it. Otherwise it will take a time. So I'm using here which directory I want to get the file. I will set it. So this is my input directory where I will. So this time I'm not using the put file processor. I'm using the get file processor and writing to the Kafka topic. Okay. So I'm not using the put file processor. So I'm reading file using the get file processor and writing to the published Kafka to the Kafka topic. My both the components are ready, right? Okay. So when I start this get file, it will start reading the data from the input directory and writing to the Kafka topic. Okay. So one way is the already your Zookeeper and Kafka server is running, you can use the Kafka consumer, right? You don't need to do the producer because producer is nifi, right? Which is sending the data to the Kafka topic. So you can run this one for the same topic. Okay? You can run the console consumer command. So which will be showing you the data which is coming on the Kafka topic. So you start here your console consumer. So your console consumer is started, okay, and it will be waiting for your messages. Okay. So now I will write the data. I will put some file here. I will take some file directly. Okay. So I have to start it because it did not started. That's the reason your file is not picked up. Okay. So I started. Okay. So I have started. I can see if I'm not starting my published Kafka, file will be in the queue, right? File will be coming in the queue. Okay. So it will be showing a one active thread. File is picked up. File is picked up from here. So you are also able to see messages are coming. Okay, so these are the messages coming in the after topic. But suppose you want to write a separate consumer in the nifi, so there is a consume Kafka is there. Okay. The consume Kafka will be consuming, so separately you have to one processor like consume Kafka. So consume Kafka, so you don't need to check in your. So what you can do, consume Kafka, you can use consume Kafka and put file processor, so which will be consuming data from the consume Kafka. So consume Kafka will take the data from your Kafka topic and write the file as a output file, as a put file. So you can, but you will not connect with the publish and consume because consume Kafka separate is a separate a component which is consuming from Kafka topic. Okay. So here you go there and you can change your, you can add that your topic name. So go to the configuration of this properties, and there is a so this consume Kafka has topic name. So this topic name you can give the same topic from where you want to read the data. Can give here the topic name. So you are telling here the Kafka broker and topic. One group ID you have to give. Actually, group ID, you know, right? Whenever consuming we are doing, so we have to define a group ID. Group ID you can give any group, just group from group ID. Group ID is making sure, right, you are all the consumers are receiving in the same group. So this is a group ID I'm giving. And now I will add a one put file processor. Okay. So here is I'm using put file processor. Okay. This put file processor, I will be giving the output directory. These properties we need to set. You will get automatically the error, right? You will be showing invalid, and then you have to find out what are the properties you need to set. So this is output directory. So this output directory you have to set some output folder. Same thing, whatever we did, get file, put file, but here we are doing through the Kafka. Okay, so this is like the Kafka can, as a message broker, we can consume messages from the file and write the messages from the Kafka topic using the publish consume Kafka. So new directory I created, so it will not be a confusion. Okay, so output directory. Now I will set the relationship. Okay, so now these two components are ready. Now we start this one. We have to create output directory. To start this also. Input file is here we have to send the file. So this is the one flow which is reading file and writing to the Kafka topic. Here is the reading from Kafka topic to write into the file. Otherwise, fail to import data from the input file. Actually, that time the output folder was not created. Okay, let's see. You can see here also data is flowing, right? Still it has not come to the screen. Read and write data, this KBS data is flowing. Now, if you look at the file, here is no file. Look at the directory. Earliest means old matches can come. Consume Kafka is not receiving, but this still here published Kafka is being. Okay. Okay, now finally we got it in the consume Kafka. Okay. So whenever you try to the separate directory, because the directories I have already run one flow separately here, this one. So it is mixed, like you try the get file and publish Kafka, a different thing. If any component you don't want to participate in the flow, we have the option to enable disable. Okay, we can enable disable so that component will not be. So there is an option. I will check this one why it is so. You start with first installation things and try with one example with get file and put file and try with this Kafka one. There is a get file and publish Kafka and consume Kafka to put file. Okay, so you will be receiving data. Okay, so do this setup. Okay, and I will show the Spark integration also. So one more example I have to show where I will show you like I will be writing to the publish Kafka and instead of this consume Kafka, I will use a Spark. So we don't have any Spark thing here in the nifi. I will run a separately my Spark consumer and which will read the data from the this published Kafka. Okay. So three ways we see. One is a command line consumer Kafka we see, right? That can read the data from the published Kafka. Another one is a nifi has provided the consumer Kafka. We can write the data. Okay, we can read the data from the topic and write to the file. And the third is like I can read the data from the topic and get the data into Spark, PySpark consumer. Okay, so I will show that example tomorrow, right? PySpark consumer to read the data from the Kafka topic. So that will be the pipeline to read data from some source. Okay, we can configure nifi for the databases also, like read the data from the SQL DB. So there is a separate processor. Some SQL DB is SQL record, right? Something SQL record. We can read and write the record. So execute SQL. We can provide a SQL query, right? A database select query, so we can run. So we can get the data from the SQL DBs. Okay. So that is a SQL processor is there. So we have to drag it and then we can get the data and we can write the data as a put file. So any combination you can make it. So here is the database properties are there, right? We have to define the database connections things. So we have to set it. Okay, so DB connection pool. So we have to choose the one connection pool property and we define the connection. So there is a further we have to define the database connection property. Okay. So let me show you tomorrow this all. Okay, but meanwhile you set up the. See, still the messages are coming in the queue. Here it's showing. So see here, it is still coming now. Now put file is coming. See this one. Now if I see my output to folder. Data is proper. Okay, so try this one. That will be reading data from the Kafka topic and write to your file as a like directly it will write as a data as a file. Okay, it will write. Okay, let's connect tomorrow. Anyone has any question? Thanks everyone. And I will put the this recording in the Google Drive. So whoever has not given me the Google Drive or I have pasted the link, access the same link. Okay, access the same Google Drive link. I will give the access. Okay? Yeah, access with your Gmail ID. I will give that.
Okay.
Okay, thanks everyone.